description, gave it to her, asked her if she was gonna do it, and there were things on there that she says, no, not gonna do it. She likes to pawn it off onto her lead cooks, like the ordering, all of that stuff, that's Ronnie's job. She's a food service director, you know, if she wants to do that job, that's, you know, we need a functioning food service director in the kitchen, somebody who actually will offer support, not somebody that you have to, I mean, our phone rings and 9 times out of 10, it's somebody with Ronnie in there, the day she's supposed to be in there, she's never in there. So, I would just like you guys to take into consideration, I don't know if you've asked the other directors in the building how they felt about it. I don't know the logistics of it or anything. And I was also wondering if you guys do decide to vote yes on the food service management company. I personally have tried 3 different times to apply for other positions in the school. Mr. Lutt told me I'd be given an interview, and every single time, I've never been offered an interview for any position that I've applied for. I have emails, if you guys want those, I could give you those. Was told I'd be given an interview, has never been given an interview. So I've tried. I know the last 2 years they've been trying to go for this food service management company. I felt my job was at risk. I tried to get out of the kitchen, haven't been able to do so. I just hope you guys would take into consideration me and the 6 other girls. It's gonna change our whole lives, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna lose our jobs. They say we can work for lunchtime solutions. I don't wanna lose my retirement personally. That's why I work here. That's why, and I love my job. I love the kids that I feed every day. I know what they like. I know what they don't like. This is the job that I wanna do, and I just hope you guys take that into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate the information there. We'll consider it all. Anything else on open forum? Presenters? If not, we'll move on to old business. Greg?
Correct. Sorry, for some reason our feed was not going. It said it was going, but it wasn't showing up, so I restarted it and I'm sending that link out right now.
We're gonna go over the consent.
No, this could be during. Yeah. So we have the consent agenda there. I don't know if there are any questions. Everything looked pretty standard. We can also go over it later. We have a lot of things on the list if you want, or I can dive in.
Just some basics, anything out of the, needs to be a concern right now?
You know, and that's.
We have a full schedule here tonight, so anything that we need to discuss, you let us know and we'll discuss it, I guess. That stands out. I don't have anything that,
You know, when I
personally.
went through it, I was looking for something.
You want to come back to it tonight?
Then we can always come back.
Let's come back.
Okay.
Okay. We can just skip that, go to new business then? Would that be proper then? Can we do that? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then, we'll go to new business then and action items. Okay.
Okay, so Matt is gonna lead us through this. Can you hear us okay, Matt?
Yes, I can hear you guys just fine. I will share my screen, so you can either look at my screen or add this to your Word packet there as well. It's the same identity. First of all, good evening, board. My name is Matt Gillespie, Piper Sandler. Good morning. As you're aware, we were taking bids this morning for the sale of sales tax revenue bonds for your upcoming project. And this packet is a summary of details about what happened. We're not going to go through every single page in the packet, although I can certainly do that if you have questions. But we're going to hit on the highlights, and then I'll allow you guys time for questions. And then once you have no more questions, we'll go to the resolution. But initially, just to point out that we were asking the bidders to bid on the initial estimate of $4,320,000 of bonds. Once we had those bids in hand and we knew what the project costs were, and building in a little bit for contingency, basically, or unexpected costs, the amount of bonds was increased to $4,800,000. Also up here in the heading, you see the rating from Standard and Poor's, that's S&P. So the district had a conversation with Standard and Poor's analysts about a month ago. Your staff did that with myself. They did a good job representing the school. They take that to a committee, and Standard and Poor's then assigns a rating. And they chose to assign their A rating, which is a very good rating, A plus, very similar to school grades. And that would be in the range of where most schools in Iowa would get the rating assigned for sales tax bonds. The winning bidder, and actually all of the other bidders, are choosing to use bond insurance, which is something that we don't have control over. They choose to do that. But that means that the bonds will carry the rating of the insurance company, which is AA. So that's 3 notches above the rating that you have. So we'll go A to A plus, and then AA minus, and then AA, and then if it's above that, go to AA plus and AAA this year. We see the actual bids themselves here. The district received 5 bids, one from Robert Baird in Milwaukee, which is, I guess, probably the only one of these bidders that you guys are familiar with, just because they have offices in Iowa. They do have Nation Rice, one of the athletic stadiums in Milwaukee. They have offices in Omaha. So you maybe have heard of Robert Baird. And then TD Securities, BOK Financial Securities, Bank of Oklahoma, and Bernardi Securities and Northland Securities. We determined the winning bidder by this kind of blue-gray number that's at the bottom of each one of these bidder sections. In the case of the winning bid here, 4.2559. So that's a weighted average rate, which weighted the longer-term maturities more heavily than the shorter-term maturities, which are going to pay interest on those longer-term bonds for a longer period of time. But it also factors in the fee that each bidder would charge, it's called the underwriter's discount. And then if they were going to pay you a premium or a discount on their bid, all of those things are factored in here to this number. And the low one becomes 4.2559. Very close, you see, to the second place bidder at 4.262. Actually, there's only a difference. You see here that there's a difference. The net interest cost is actually lower on the second place bid. That might seem odd to you, but it actually happens somewhat frequently. That's just because of the positioning of the interest. If you think about it, a dollar is worth something today, but it's not going to be worth the same amount 20 years from now, for example. And that's kind of what's being taken into account here. So Robert Baird is the low bid, 4.2559. On the second page, we see summary of sources and uses for this bond. So you're issuing $4,800,000 in principal. The winning bidders structured their bid such that you would get a $110,389 premium. And from that total of $4,900,000, the underwriter's discount, which is that fee that I said they build in, is factored into the bid, whether they win or lose, $94,028, which includes the insurance premium they chose to share with that insurance company. Cost of issuance, $85,800. That's it combined. Their attorney in Des Moines, Allers and Cooney, Standard, of course, the rating paper Standard, the company that I went for, as well as United Missouri Bank. And then there's a reserve fund that's set aside. So this is something that you would not set aside if you were issuing general obligation bonds or temple notes, because those are backed by property taxes. But when a school or a city or county or hospital, any type of municipality issues revenue backed bond that's not backed by property taxes, it's very common for the bidders to require this reserve fund. So that's kind of like a rainy day fund or safety net. It is still your money. You get to keep this money, but you can't spend it right away. You can't spend it until the bonds are paid off. It's there basically, again, as a safety net, just in case at a point in time in the future you can't make the bond payment, which, by the way, has never happened in Iowa schools issuing sales tax bonds, but it could, so therefore that's the reason for that. But the big number, what you guys are most concerned with, what can you spend on the project? A total of $4,250,000 plus this little $561 tag down here. So that can be spent on this project. If that ends up being a little bit more money than you needed, you can spend it on some other legal use of sales tax. If it were to end up being a little bit less than what you need, then you would have to come up with any overage from other sales tax, capital funds, donated funds, grants, stuff like that. Also a copy of the amortization or repayment schedule in here. On this page here, this red box, you can see comparisons of what has happened with some other school districts recently that sold very similar bonds. Year rates, comparing the yields, a little bit lower on some of the shorter term bonds, but a little bit higher, slightly higher on some of the longer term bonds. And then this example goes back to a year ago at high school schools, which I think everybody's aware that interest rates are a little bit higher today than they were a year ago, but still very comparable over this time frame. So not too significantly different, which is what we want to see. You can just see another version of the amortization schedule here. We have the timeline. So tonight, presumably, once the board will award to the lowest bidder. At your next meeting on June 8th is when you'll complete more legal documents that will be prepared ahead of time by your attorneys in the district. Very simple. You'll just approve those things on June 18th. And then on the 9th of July, that's when the rest of the bond money will come to you. So you did receive today a wire from a low bidder called the good faith deposit. It's very similar to earnest money when you buy a house. So it's very similar. It's 1% of the amount that you asking bid, and then the rest of the money will come to you on July 9th. That money can be invested and should be invested because you won't spend it immediately. Of course, you'll spend it, month by month as the construction project begins to take place. And all of the interest that you earn will also be considered sales tax bond proceeds. So it does also need to be spent on the project itself, not on some general fund or management fund need. It must be spent on sales tax related needs. And then the last part of the packet is just a rating report. I'm not going to go through reading that to you, but I wasn't sure if Jay actually provided that, so I included it. You can come back later and read that. It does say some nice things about the district. It does talk about the sales tax mechanism as a whole, how it works across the state. So you may be interested in coming back to read. So that's a pretty quick summary of what happened. Do any of the board members have specific questions about the process that took place, the process that is still yet to take place, sales tax, how it works, the bond process? Any questions that you have all before we go to this?
Thanks for explaining that stuff. You said the interest that we would earn, we won't earn any interest on this, any of this.
Yeah, you will. Yeah, you'll earn it on the proceeds. So you're going to get, basically the 4.8 million in July, and you're going to put that in the bank, in a checking account, money market. Some of it, you're going to spend immediately within the next couple months. So you might take, and I'm just making this number up, but you might take 3 million of it, invested in a 6-month CD or 9-month CD, and keep the rest of it fluid, as a cash flow to start paying the architect construction folks. So you will earn interest, depending on how long the construction project takes. That will determine how much interest you earn. So on $4.8 million, you are very likely to earn probably somewhere in how fast the project happens, but probably somewhere between maybe $60,000 and $100,000 in interest. So that will also be on proceeds that would be spent on the project or some other legal uses.
So you have to take that money out. You can't leave it and use it as you need it. Then you got to take out a slug in a few months and put it away. You can't take it,
So
borrow it as you need it.
so he's given, we're getting it all up front in July.
Yeah, that's correct. That's generally how.
Okay, you got to take it all in July.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
And then we do what we.
It's like a construction loan.
Okay.
Matt, on page 5, the one with the red line through it, guys, I'm talking this one. You want to talk to them about the red line?
Yeah, so where you see that red line, and that's also, you can see, if you look at the bottom of most of these first 4 pages, there is a note also that discusses that. That red line is what's called a call date. So once you get to that point in time, the district, if you have the ability to do it, you can start to pay the bond off correctly. And you could do that in any increment of $5,000, and you could do it at any time, beginning July, which would be June 1st of 2031, or 30 days notice. So you could begin to repay it early and stop paying interest. You can also refinance the debt if interest rates happen to be lower out in 2031 or sometime after that. It certainly happens very frequently. These bonds do get refinanced, just like your mortgage at home, right, your car loan. You can also restructure the bonds once you get to that point, or or of course, if none of those things are viable at June 2031, excuse me, or anytime after that, you just keep paying the payments as they're scheduled. But it's very common, and I would say probably more often than not, that these types of bonds do get repaid early or refinanced at some point too. These are still pretty low rates, even though rates have come up significantly in the last 2.5 years. These are still historically low rates, but they could be lower. We don't know. They could be lower in 2031 or 32, and you may save money by refinancing, but that will be a choice for future school boards to make. We will continue to monitor that as we get closer to that date to sort of keep you guys abreast as if that's mathematically viable or not.
So we've got 15 years on it, but we can potentially buy it back.
You can't pay it down
We can after.
after 2031, so until they.
Yeah. Yeah, you can accumulate money with the intention of paying it off if that's what you want to do. I don't know everything that the district needs, but my guess is that any money you might be accumulating, probably you have other projects and other needs, so, you could consider, roof or, doing the concession stand project or whatever other projects you may have. Is that more important than trying to get rid of paying 4.25% interest? We're not. Those are the kind of questions you might ask in the future as you sort of accumulate surplus funds.
Yeah.
Any other questions that the board members have?
Nope.
No. There you go.
Okay, then I'm going to go right to the resolution. It's acceptable for me to paraphrase that, which is what I'm going to do. Once I paraphrase the resolution, one of the board members simply needs to so move what I just said. Another board member will need to second that motion, and then actually you are required to have a roll call vote. So the resolution before you is directing the sale of $4,800,000 of school infrastructure sales services and use tax revenue bonds, Series 2025 from Robert W. Baird and Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, we've seen.
That is in a link for the resolution.
Oh.
It's on number 2 there, the consideration number 2. There's a resolution. And that's what he's reading now.
So
We need to make a motion.
Somebody's gotta read it so that.
He read it.
He read it, so I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Yes.
okay, do I go?
Then we do a roll.
Okay,
Juice, come on.
do I have to?
Okay, Director Worrell,
Yes.
Director Ferris,
Yes.
Director Byrd,
Yes.
Director Clayton,
Yes.
Director Lee.
Yes.
Okay, that is all we had to do from a legal standpoint today. If you do come up with more questions, if you look through this document, or you come up with questions, whether that be tomorrow, or whether that be 6 months from now, or 2 years from now, definitely pass those questions back my way. We want to make sure your questions are always answered. Maybe more importantly, if there are citizen questions that get asked of you and you don't know the answer, pass those questions back to me as well. We do not want to have any kind of misinformation or miscommunication about these types of big numbers like this circulating. So questions are always welcome. Jay and Ashley, you will be getting emails continuously again from me, from our office, and from all of you over the next couple of weeks. The two of you should also ask questions anytime you have them about any of these documents. So congratulations on a successful sale and good luck with your project. And good luck and congratulations on the end of another school year. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, Beth, you guys don't have to stick around if you don't want, but you're welcome to stay. I'm just letting you know. Because we won't do anything tonight with it. Okay? Okay.
We will.
Oh, no, with her?
No.
With Beth? Oh, yeah, okay.
It's thanks.
All right, all right. Didn't want to be uncomfortable there. Okay. All right. So now we got
The money market.
okay, considerations to open the money market account for bond receipts at Sloan.
I'll make a motion to open a money market account for bond receipts.
Oh, okay. Yes, all right. So we,
And it's Sloan State Bank. Secretary, treasurer,
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second for the consideration to open the money market account for bond receipts at the Sloan State Bank. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So now we have the spot for this money to go, and it'll be individualized and can be tracked. When there's an expense coming in from, even the expenses that we approved this month from DGR, I think it was $11,000. It can actually come from this on July 9th. when we do.
So they will get, DGR will get the money, go.
We'll pay it up front.
We'll just reimburse
Reimburse
ourselves from the bond money for what we spent.
Okay.
But yeah, so when I talked to Jill, she said, open this money market account, but then if we think, okay, we're not gonna spend all this money right away, then you can open, like he said, a 6-month or a year CD and earn more interest on money.
They're gonna give us like 10%.
That would be nice.
Which bank?
Yeah. Well.
I wish I could borrow money at 4%.
All right. So that is all tied in, as well as our board policy that we have. And you have to scroll down to open up the PDF of that. I'm sorry, I've got a lot of junk in there to help remind us of where we are on board policies. But this was one that came from Ehlers and Cooney, our law firm, on our bond disclosure policy, as we did not have one, haven't done a bond for 20 plus years. So we are, with this policy, we are up to date and we're good to go with everything that's going on.
Okay. So your colors are welcome to read that, but
I'll make a
we
motion,
need a motion.
everybody's good with it. I'll make a motion to approve the reading of the 704.07 bond disclosure policy.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the reading of the 704.07 bond disclosure. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, go to consideration of contracts, Jay?
Yes, sir. So first we got resignations listed there. At the top, I have a blanket motion for you if you would like to use motion to approve resignations. We have Chase that we knew about, it's a special ed. Do you want me to go through each one or?
No, Lily.
I mean, I don't know.
Is Lily Scott, she's gonna stay here then? I didn't open it and read it. Yes. She's a resignation.
Yeah, at her para position.
She gonna move on? She gonna stay here to school?
No, she got another job. And she actually left Monday or last Friday. I can't remember which day she didn't come back. But
I'll make a motion to approve the resignations as listed.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the resignations as read, the names. Motion to approve resignation, we have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
all right, number 2, hires. As Cass had been talking about coaches, we've got a few in there, Brenda and Alex, for those coaching. Nora Kastning is a graduating college and wants to be a high school girls basketball assistant. That's pending the license.
Where's she from, Cass?
South Point.
Sorry. The only, the only, one I have here as a teacher is Jessica Gable as the elementary sped, and I watched Ashley put the contract in there. And it's not there now. So we will get that back up there for you, and we can.
It's a possibility of. After,
After what?
Alex Brown.
Just as possibility.
Alex Grove.
Oh, I don't know what I had on that. Cass,
Are we probably?
did we want to do Alex Grove for head junior high boys track coach this month?
C.
What?
Senior.
Yes, sorry. It's all right, I was still in German.
All right, I'll make
Make a motion
Where we at?
to approve hires as listed.
I'll second.
All right, who made that,
We
Andy?
have Eddie.
Andy,
Chuck?
we have a motion and a second to approve the hires as listed, as read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Yeah, I watched her.
I don't know.
Okay.
I actually was helping her, so I don't know why it didn't show up. Transfers, yeah, sorry,
Mr. Hummel and Lisa Dandran.
yeah, so Leishman is our fourth grade teacher going to secondary English. Lisa Dandran from interventions, she's currently this year's third sixth grade teacher, going to fourth grade, and then Clara, for going from elementary sped to secondary sped.
Okay, we have a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve transfers as listed.
Do you have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a motion and a second to approve the transfers as listed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
So terminations, we have, due to reduction in force. I shared with you the letter that I shared, with the kitchen staff when they came in, for a meeting, and then, almost everybody was available to be at the meeting with, the food service company that we're looking at selecting tonight. So this is the list.
Do we have any further discussion?
Are we doing the food service before we do this, or?
Well, that, just because contracts is usually at the beginning, I had this at the beginning, and then we have the contract for the food service company later. So we could come back to this. I mean, I have no problem with that. I mean,
We probably better do the food service first.
okay. Okay, so
We have to come back after the food service.
yeah.
starts.
Okay, so on the fundraisers. Okay, jumping all around.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We've got that cross-country fundraiser that I had sent out earlier, and then the archery one. Cass, Matt, and I met with the archery sponsors and went over a lot of different things that they're talking about, and one of the things was a fundraiser. They got their information in today, wanted to do this kind of summer camp thing. And they are gung ho.
So what's the fundraiser? What
They can't click on
the what?
it's
Summer
No,
camp.
but that, they're looking for funds to pay for that camp?
No, that's the fundraiser.
for archery.
Bring it on camp,
Okay.
charge each of them $50, you know, make sure.
Okay,
You
okay.
go with this, Matt? Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do for a lot of activities, it'd be good for them to do something in the summer.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
They're going down southwoods.
We got,
Do we do these separate, or talk about them both? or do it all?
I think you can just do them together as long as everybody's on board with it. I'll make a motion to approve cross-country and archery fundraisers.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the cross-country and archery fundraisers. Read, any, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, consideration for approval of the football trip to DC. Mr. Casper, or
Cass, $1,000, where does that come from?
Kids.
It does.
A lot of them sold salt, you know, in
Okay.
the past, and they can use,
Their salt money?
yeah.
so that divvies up amongst all of them then, that salt money type thing?
No, depends how much you sell.
Air fund.
How much they
Oh,
sell?
in the whole, to the person, that youngins?
For example, when I was in talking to Cass earlier today, a student came in and asked what his salt sales money was, and it was $760, so he's already close to there, and then he sells salt again. He's got his pay.
So these kids all have an opportunity to make money then, Cash,
Yes.
of some sort?
The Longville sell salt and get them in the fall. Some have been selling, you know, the younger they are, the less they've sold.
Yeah.
So some will have a chance to sell in the fall, others have sold the previous falls.
But there's other income other than, for the opportunities, other than just the salt forum in, or is that?
There's
it?
not a lot between now and then,
Okay.
it just,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was asking, trying to get prepared here.
Yeah, we built the trails to be thrown.
Oh, heavens, yes.
they all got that.
We all got that. Okay, so we need to,
I'll make a motion
to approve the
football trip
to DC. We got a motion and a second to consider for the approval of the football trip to DC. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you. All right. Okay, consideration, or see, we need a motion to approve the teacher's tentative 2-year agreement and issue contracts.
Why tentative?
It's tentative right now until you make a motion. So don't say the word tentative when you do that.
So need to read that or go through that? I'm in agreement.
I just put that note
Break
in
this
there
down
for
for
you.
us. Break this down. So the TSS money is a 6.224.
Yeah, because we did it a little different this year, and Cass and I can hop in and out of this conversation because we all worked, the association and Ashley and I together, and really found the route that everybody wanted to go this year. It's different than years past, okay? So when we got the surprise legislation for TSS, no one knew how to do it, and there was no guidance. Still, there's little guidance for the whole thing. But we went with method last year, or the last 2 years. Now we come in, and this is a different method. So we're giving each employee, each teacher, $100 for their year of service, every year that they have.
Okay.
They get $100.
All right.
BA, they're getting $75 for that BA level that they're at. MA is gonna get $150, and then the district is putting $1,110 in as their kind of like what we did last year with the 1650,
Right.
but not as much because we're putting it on levels. So in an effort over the last few years with this TSS thing, our pay schedule, maybe my angle's the wrong way, but new teachers,
Yeah.
experienced teachers, and over the last few years, it went like this. And as the TSS comes in and bumps a brand new teacher to 50,000 this year, and a 12-year experience to 62, it kind of gets down. So now we're putting years of service on and honoring BA and MA at a different level. So it's kind of bringing it back up like that, if that is a good diagram for you. Another thing with this on how we did it before, we were using the TSS to get up to minimum levels and then putting the raise on. This model, the raise and the TSS goes in together to get people up to the minimum levels, to keep it on that slant of where everyone should be. Kind of remember going back to the days of Andy Briette and the scattergram and making sure everybody in that column, whether it's BA, BA plus, BA 9, they were all similar to where they were, and if they've worked years of service, received more money.
Yeah.
So this gets us back into that mode.
Right.
How'd I do, Cass?
So
Yeah,
we went away from that originally to get that the base payout, because we were getting, we're losing out on teachers out of school, right? That's what was the goal at that time. So now we've gone away from that. We've gotten to where we figured that we're okay, and we're starting to go back with the chart.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So in year 2, you'll see it's a little different. We keep the years of service. So everybody next year is going to get $100 for their year of service. We've already done that correction for BA and MA, and then the district increase of $1,500 is there.
So everybody's getting the 1,500 in the year 2.
Yeah.
Plus $100 for years of second, yeah.
And then insurance.
Plus 100 for the years of service.
And we increased to $1,000 for our contribution for insurance. Next year it'd be $1,025. Year after that, $1,050. So that's what the 25 is.
So looking at year 1, is everybody covered in that pretty well, and there's no negative?
Correct. We feel it. I think that, the newer you are, the less of a raise you're getting, the longer you've taught. Or what I guess it's rewarding experience, but I don't think anybody's not getting a good raise. That's the trend.
Well, just, there's always.
Yeah.
One person or two.
Yeah. No, it's.
I don't see, all the names.
The association voted on it, was unanimous.
Okay.
That matters.
you.
Okay, and this covers everything
For the
else,
base,
that's
that's good.
negotiations, all the language and.
The only language was cleaning one up, and that was, it just needed some less words. We did that and feel good about it, so yeah.
And we're gonna look at a little bit of that other language over the summer. But if there are any changes needed to happen.
Okay. Further discussion, fellas, ladies?
One more thing, the TSS money, and there was more money added to it this year,
Yeah,
because it used to be 5,000, right?
yeah, back originally was the 5,000, and then they gave us a chunk to get everybody up to the 47.5.
Just recently here this last year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gone after this.
We get one more year of the actual TSS, so we get our regular money and we get the TSS money. And then after that, they start combining it.
Oh, yeah, that's.
And that's what we've done to basically combine our salaries. So before, we used to have our money without, our base pays
Yes.
without TSS, then PSS. Then we had to do another column for the minimum BA, minimum
Yeah.
MA, and now we've gone away from that. Because TSS is in the formula, or required by law, there's no going back. It is really wild.
Well, I mean, everybody's on board with it.
Yes. Good go. Anyway, no further discussion, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the certified teacher, 2-year agreement and issue contracts.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve this certified teachers 2-year agreement and issue contracts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay, consideration of increase in issue classified staff contracts.
And we haven't had a lot of time to talk about this because of the late nature on it of the other contracts, but I got two options for you. What we've done in the past is that 3.1%, that based on basically what we're giving the teachers. And that's similar without TSS. We're always kind of talking without TSS. Because that's not really our money to base off of this staff. So with classified, we've got, should we do it similar to last year, 3.1% increase? But the nagging thing for me is when we bring someone in, they go to the base pays that we have. And that base pay has to stay here, and we increase everybody. So a newer para, and Ashley can correct me if I'm wrong, will go from, with 3.1, we'll basically go from $15 an hour to $15.47 with 3.1. But we're still starting at $15. And that's kind of what we did last year. The years before that, we were adding dollars on to get us caught up. And I'm afraid that if we do that too many times, we're kind of getting stuck. So here's the thought. Option number 2, we increase $1 on, bring up our base pay 50 cents. So paras will go from starting 15 to 15.50, but everybody's going to get $1 off. But they're still going to be a half a dollar or more away from that base if they're a second-year teacher. But that kind of keeps us moving up and adjusting to the market rate on the outside. Is that making sense?
But the base pay to start is $15.50.
15 now. 15 now. And then if we do $1 on everybody's per hour, then we can raise that to $15.50.
Because if you had $1, that's 16. But what's that, an average then?
So you
Well, no, we're just, we're rewarding service.
Oh,
Yeah,
Because if you,
okay.
because that's one thing our staff wanted.
Oh, to add $1 to the $15.50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, on the same aspect, transportation doesn't work in an hourly fashion like that. They're paid per route. And then our birds are per hour. But how do you correlate that to that? And I came up and worked out that basically if we, to make it as fair as possible, that is almost doubling what that 3.1 was when I worked it out. So transportation, we get a 6.2% increase. And that is the same as adding $1 to Paris because of the time they work and what they do, so it's not the same. But then that also allows us to get our transportation pay increase as we continue to look and try to find new people to be out there.
Yes. Okay. So,
What's that 16,541?
So that would be
That's
our
just the 3
increase.
points.
Leaving the starting at 15 or 17, depending on where we're at, $15 for fares, 17 for cooks and students. Leaving that starting pay, increasing everybody to 3.1%. But then if you raised the starting pay to 15.50, 17.50, then you increase those who are coming back $1, so they're not, like the second year are not the same as the starting, so.
It's kind of the same thing that it's last year with the TSS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Kind of.
so depending on if we want to raise the starting.
I think option 2 is good. I mean, I think we definitely need some drivers.
okay. Any other? Is that what it is? Brady,
That would be raise.
and you,
All out.
what do you think, Captain Chuck? What would you with?
You're the captain, you're the one.
Well, I think,
The mallet. I think it's good.
well, you guys are number guys.
I think it's good.
Okay, then, we need a motion for that option number 2. I would imagine, is that correct?
Yes.
That's,
I'll make a motion to approve option 2 as presented, increase in issued contracts.
Second that motion.
okay. We had a motion is to take option 2, which is increase in hourly transportation, same as 6.2 increase and increase in issued contracts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Alrighty. Okay, next item is education support personal salary supplement. Could be distributed in June. That's.
Yes, last year, the state gave 15 million to get support staff up to $15 if they're not at $15 per hour, the minimum. That can be done, but we were already at 15 for our lowest pay. So, we're able to give that in June as a lump sum. And to make it fair, because not everybody works 5 days a week, this, that, and the other thing, I did this whole big spreadsheet, and Melissa helped me, and actually we reworked it, and it basically comes up for those people, they get approximately $1.83 per day for each day that they work.
This is for the past or the future?
This last year.
This last year,
One time.
Yeah.
one time.
Just to bring everybody up to snuff on their pay.
Yeah, we have to get rid of this money from our accounts by June. And so, but there,
It's more like it's kind of like a bonus.
Yes.
Yeah,
That kind of amount.
not a huge amount, no.
Okay,
So, and then, just so you're aware, they allocated for next year half. So it's like 7.5, so it's gonna be even less next year.
they're in the book now, sure.
That's it.
Okay, so any further discussion on that item? Do we,
Motion.
yes,
I'll make a motion to approve the education support personnel salary supplement to be distributed in June.
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second, to approve the educational support personal secretary supplement that has to be distributed in June, by June. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, consideration. Another increased extended school year services.
Yes, this is my 11th year in the district, and we've not increased that the whole time I've been here. It was asked if I could look into it, and I emailed everybody in the AEA, and we're right on target with everybody else. I think it was kind of probably put in there a long time ago and it never changed. So to take a look at it and reward that staff member from coming in the summer and taking care of that program for us to go from $30 to $35 an hour.
And this ESS,
Extended year, so special education students that on their IEP, they're allowed to take summer school,
so that's.
and we do that, yeah.
For summer school teacher.
Yeah, summer school teacher for that, and it's mornings for a, schedule's not set yet, but a limited time.
Every day?
So, no, not every day.
Good. Yeah, that's.
I'll make a motion to approve increasing extended school year services to $35 an hour starting this June.
Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second to increase the extended year services to $35 an hour, $30 an hour, starting in June. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion, or all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. All righty. Hanging right through any consideration, okay. Motion to continue sharing girls wrestling.
Yeah, West Monona would just like the board to vote that we're in for next year.
That's working good.
It's going good.
I'll make a motion to continue sharing girls wrestling with West Monroe.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion and a second to continue sharing girls wrestling with the West Monona. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, consideration of agreement for curriculum director and human resources. Share some comments on that there, Jay. Motion, is that where we're at?
Oh, yeah. Sharing agreements with Lawton Bronson, these are the same ones
Okay.
we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yep, those are the two, so,
I'll make a motion to approve the sharing agreements for curriculum director and human resources.
With the Lawton Bronson.
Yeah.
Okay,
Second that motion.
okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the curriculum director and human resources and Sheriff Lawton Bronson.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, we need to approve the 2025-26 school calendar year.
last time we met, I said I would survey the staff, we got input from them, we used that input and put it into this calendar, and although it's an odd year, again, as we go through this rotation, I'm pleased with how it turned out, and I'm glad for their input.
I think we discussed it already, this.
Yeah, we had the hearing.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 school calendar.
I'll second.
okay, we got a motion and a second to approve the 2025-26 school calendar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. All righty, let's see, approval of the AEA's, service agreement for 2025-26.
What's the details there about the snow days?
We've got plenty worked in. I just closed that, so I can go back to it.
No, it says as
Must
things
have been
change
carried
with
over.
relationships to
Got
AEA.
it in, here.
Yeah, I think it was just.
We got it here and you got this.
Oh, gotcha.
Maybe there's a hole in there.
Yeah. So Yeah.
You see what I'm at, see?
Yeah.
Yeah, just that ending, copy and paste error, I'm sure. So, as the AEA's role has changed in the state of Iowa, we now have to approve the service agreements with, of what we're saying we're buying from them and the resources that we're gonna use.
So it's listed there, I see, huh?
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025-26 Northwest AEA service agreement.
I'll second.
Here we have a motion to approve the 25-26 South or Northwest AEA service agreement is listed there as read. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. We need to discuss the ready map for that amount of $68,800 or $83.78.
Why is that so tall? Different. I mean, there's two bids.
you know, I did talk to, Lori Kunkel headed this up with the staff, and she's so good at this. And I had mentioned, what's the big difference between the two programs, the cost? And she said there isn't like there's a material difference or online difference, it's just the cost of their program. But they're not really competitive to each other when you have that big a disparity. And they're both 6-year contracts. So, they're both the same.
And the teachers have reviewed those.
Teachers, and he actually did, if you click the vote for math,
They worked with them, didn't they, for a while?
yeah, they tested them out, and Lori was involved in that, and then they voted, and they came out with the most people wanted the iReady, and so.
Well, if they wanted that, then that saved.
Thank goodness, right?
22,000.
And the Westwood Education Foundation has been talking about donating $10,000 towards that. So
Nice.
wonderful, that organization.
I'll make a motion to approve iReady math for $68,083.78.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the ready map. It's been reviewed for $68,083.78. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. So now, go to consideration of lunchtime.
Lunchtime solutions. So the RFP that you have in there is essentially what we put in to request proposals. And that is also in the state of Iowa, the contract that you do. But there are a few changes, worked with it and it passed the muster with the state agency over this. They gave the approval, and then it went to our attorneys, and there were some slight language changes that they put in, just more state code things. That none of the amounts, none of the insurance that's required for them, anything like that was changed. So that is the RFP, is the contract. And that's, gone over. We had 3 companies, as you know, and we narrowed it down to the one. We have, one thing we found out today is we are on the list for a site review next year from the state. So the state will be coming to go over all of our books and go through the menus and go through the items.
But with this lunchtime solutions, and that's theirs,
All of that is theirs on the cooking side. They do review, like make sure you're doing the free and reduced lunch count right and stuff. And that is our office area.
And that'll all still stay the same?
That'll stay the same.
Breakfast like we've been doing will stay the same?
Like for free, yeah, we will not offer free. And we dropped below the threshold to offer free breakfast. So we wouldn't, even if we remained, we wouldn't.
We still would. Gotcha.
And I don't think, I haven't seen yet, and I haven't got an email saying, because I forget what it's called, but there's a formula that the state and federal uses to set our lunch prices. We don't set them. So if there's an increase, it comes from them and all their rules. So I haven't seen what that's gonna be. So, I mean, there might be an increase to our lunch or breakfast fees, but, you know, you can tell the general public that's what we have.
Good. So we're on the same page. We still get the money from the lunches, and we just pay these guys a fee, their fee.
Yeah,
From the state, right?
All the money still runs through our office.
yes,
and we just
correct.
Pay them for their service.
Yeah, good question. And their fee, as in the contract that you've read, is based on how many meals that they serve and are reimbursed for.
So is that served per day? How many meals they serve that day, breakfast, lunch?
Yeah.
Now, what about like extras, like,
They will provide extras similar to what we're doing now.
So like,
Yeah.
any school event or whatever?
Yes, okay, so, you know, we're talking jubilation.
Yeah.
If we want them to work during
Yes.
jubilation, we let them know up front that these are the dates that they're gonna do that. If Cass wants to do his football, banquet and have the kitchen cook, that would be a night that we'd say,
What's that
We
one
would-
they do at Christmas, that same?
the
Madrigal.
Madrigal, that could be another one, if they wanted to. They kind of did a little different this year, so we'll see.
But I'm saying they're willing to do all that.
They're willing to do it. Yeah, just similar.
And then as far as workers, they will hire within? I mean,
Yes,
They
yes,
still have to apply.
Yeah, you have to apply for it, but.
yeah.
They s-
And they came in and met with the staff and talked to them about all that. Did a really good presentation. They're concerned about workers just like everybody else.
Was the compensation similar from?
Yeah, that's what they talked about.
Before we vote, I'm probably speaking out of turn here, which is kind of normal, but Beth, I'd like to say that I'd like to say before we vote, that this has been on our table for a long time to consider this, okay?
Yeah.
And we've talked about it, what's best for what we got going on here with the facility and the faculty and the kids and your jobs as well.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't go the way that you think, it's not because of anything, it's that we think that that's gonna be work best for what we have and what we're up against with the help and stuff in the kitchen. And to keep it running, because we gotta feed the kids as well.
Absolutely, I understand. I think the two people that benefit from that here is Ronnie and Jay. I feel like, I don't think they really want to have as much in with the state reviews and things like that. I think that's why they're pushing for it so hard, but
Well-
I understand where you're coming from.
Well, he's not pushing really anything. We're just, because we get reports, just like Justin and Matt are gonna give a report on their thing. But we've considered it all, and we want you to stay part of the deal.
Right.
We want you to stay part of the deal, and we're outside of our faculty, Jay, and these guys are what makes the final decisions, but, help make the decisions on where we get the input and your input.
Right.
So whatever it is, I just want you to know from our standpoint, we've considered this for the last 2 years on how to make this work for everybody. So I want to say that on behalf of
Like
our
on
board.
on the hiring process, like, okay, if they have to go outside, how's that, is there any approval or review by us or by you or the school? Like,
No.
It's just all done.
What about all our equipment, our kitchen equipment? It's our job to keep that up.
Yes, yes.
They'll use it all. And-
Yeah, I mean, other usually something breaks, we have to get fixed.
We have to fix it just like we normally would.
But, yeah, it's our equipment and they're gonna use
Yeah, right.
it, clean it up, take care of it, grease it, keep it all just not right.
They will?
Yes. There'll be some learning curves in this whole thing for all of us.
Definitely will.
So,
And either way, there's gonna be a lot of learning curves because I put in here, I hope you can see it, there are changes that just came out today that, they are just making it impossible to abide by. You can look at them and, phase one, starting this July, cereals no more than 6 grams of added sugars per dry ounce.
The manufacturer will have to change their recipes for that as well, they'll have to take that.
Yogurt, all changed,
there's a lot to it.
flavored milk.
It's a full-time deal, that's for sure. So anyway, yeah, as I see here. I just wanted to share that. So do we have any more discussion on this deal? Okay. Andy, Chuck, Jeff, Katie? Any more discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with One Time Solutions.
Second motion.
Okay, we have a motion, after discussion, have a motion and a second to approve a contract with Lunchtime Solutions. On favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Consideration of the HVAC units purchase.
Justin, you want to talk about where they are?
Bill 142, 153, and 261. Elementary side for 2 of them. Yeah. One on this side. Unit's been in some trouble. Gotta take the ceiling down for 253, so we're under there, we might as well do 261. Same age, hasn't given us much trouble, but ceiling's on, gonna come down, so you might as well redo it while we're right there.
All good?
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the purchase of installation of HVAC from Lakeport Heating and Cooling for the amount of $31,900. I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion, and a second to purchase and install the HVAC from Lakeport Heating Cooling for $31,900. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
The next one on the storm protection fund, as you remember last year with our insurance, our deductible went from basically $40,000 to $450,000 on wind, hail damage for the facility. With that, they offered a separate insurance to take care of a portion of that deductible that you could buy into. We chose not to buy into it because it did not show much benefit. This year, from response of all that, they've come up with a self-funding plan, and it looks actually really good. If so far, everything that the meeting I went to on this and what I'm hearing from other schools, it works a lot better. There's a lot to it. Haven't understood all of it, but it looks like it's going to be the way to help us in our problem with our deductible and that. So
It's kind of like a self-insured thing.
like a self-insured thing, as a group. But the more schools that go into it, the better that group goes. They'll have a $10 million, usage, and then they want to build that up to 15, and then maybe even up to 20 as districts get it and as time goes. But it does look good. We don't have every detail, like the cost of what it will be. That'll be coming, I'm guessing in June with our insurance. But what they said to do, if you are interested, to get these two things approved, the resolution and then this agreement. Not saying we're gonna do it,
Yeah.
saying if we do it, we're approved and ready to go.
Because we got a ante up, we're gonna have to come up with money out of our pocket I mean, I'm probably not using the same right lingo, but because if your premium's going down, your premium just stay the same. Well, I mean, our premium, our insurance premium will stay the same.
It'll stay the same, and
So
then we'll
that-
have a separate premium for this,
So our premium will go up then.
but it will not be as much as the other premium that we were looking at paying.
That sounds like a heck of a deal.
And that's management
It is
fund?
insurance.
That's management fund?
That's management fund, yes,
Pay
sir.
me now or pay me later. That's, yeah, we need some information on it.
Yeah, and he'll be coming to present on all of it, so.
Okay,
Just will listen to it.
yeah, well, you don't got no choice. I mean, unless you just buy the insurance.
I'll make a motion to approve the 28E agreement for the storm protection fund, self-funded.
But if we approve it, then we're gonna.
No,
This is putting us in, and we're
So we
available.
can consider it.
Okay. Go ahead. It's a-
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second, to approve the 28E agreement for storm protection. What did you say, tentative, or what did you call it?
Self-funded.
I know, but this isn't saying that we're going to do it. Correct? We are going to do it.
This is saying that we are going to do it. We still have a choice if we want to.
Or whether we do it or not, well, that's what I wanted to see, it was for the choice of the self-funded plan. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you. It's simple, all right, I'd like to see the bids, I mean, the difference. I mean, anyway, okay. Okay, a motion, for the resolution to participate, we got that.
Yep,
Yeah, we
this is the
I'll make a
resolution.
motion to approve the resolution to participate in storm protection, self-funded.
Okay. All right, so now we got a motion, we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
And then we'll go for a roll call vote.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Okay, roll call vote, Director Worrell,
Yes.
Director Ferris,
Yes.
Director Lee,
Yes.
Director Byrd,
Yes.
Director Clayton.
Okay. No. Okay,
Passes.
okay. So we're good there? Now go to approval of the audit. We gotta make a motion here on this.
Yeah, make a motion. I got a digital copy. We have paper copies if you want to take it home and read it tonight.
I
Okay, so
gave you guys each the 24 audit booklet.
we're good on the storm stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Approval, okay, motion with
I'll
audit.
make a motion to approve the 2024 audit.
Second. Okay, we have a motion here to approve the 2024 audit as detailed. Any all in favors? We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Now we need to go back to the termination under contracts.
So, I bet that will be tomorrow. Hopefully it was all right. If you need help, I'll come and make some sandwiches.
Okay.
Okay?
We're gonna get a beard net for Justin. Not feeling too good.
Well, okay, now where are we going?
I gotta go
back
up there and see. I'll make a motion to approve the termination contracts due to reduction in force.
Okay, what, I'm trying to find it in my. Is
I'll
that
second that.
Okay.
We got a motion in a second.
Resignations?
No, down.
Here. Thank you. Okay, well, the names are listed there, we need a motion for the,
We got it, we did it.
okay. So all in favor of the, we got a motion and a second to terminate the contracts due to reduction in force is listed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Just,
But
What'd you do,
Peter
actually?
went dead, so she could write down,
This meeting's gonna leave.
yeah.
All right, I think I had that. I think it was Andy and Jack, right?
Yeah.
I think I had it, but I don't know if it'll save it, so. Okay.
these are all Lansing people for lunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lansing personnel. Okay, now, okay, got the approval, audit approved. Now we'll go to the reports. Mr. Mitchell, physical plant report.
I'll keep it short, most of my stuff's transportation, but, May 5th, or 2nd, Jay asked me to go to a bus inspection. I don't know if he shared it with you guys or not, but we had, I believe, 3 or 4 out of service. Was able to get 21 fixed that day because it had to leave. Other than that, I think Jay and Cody have taken care of the rest, I'm not sure. Bus 12, after the accident, took it to Cornhusker, they inspected it. Both Cody, the state inspector, myself, and Cornhusker all agreed it should go for the frame shop, so we took it to Frame Liners in South Sioux. From front to back, it was out 1 3/4 inches, so it's been fixed. Still got to go to Ryan's for some body work, door alignments. But other than that, I had a few power issues. Storm the other night, so we got them all fixed. So other than that, that's all I have.
So did the school lose power then?
Yeah,
Do you have summer help?
we have pretty much everybody returned from last year. So
Is any big projects that are just other than obviously what's going on?
yeah, other than what's going on, it cleaned
Well,
up.
we have a painting crew?
Well, we got stuff to paint, but it's all the administration, so I assume that we should paint it, not knowing if the bond's gonna go through or not, so that's where they're gonna start.
So is Cody assuming like all of your task and all?
Yeah, right now she's temporarily
She's
taking over.
like all that, repairing all that.
We don't have any big projects outside. We're not even a week into the project, and Clingers consumed 3 of my days in the last week, and I mean full days. So between change orders, just discussions, so,
Change orders, we ain't started yet.
yeah. That's, welcome to the project.
Bleachers deal over there, going good?
I didn't hear.
Bleachers? Bleacher
Which,
pad?
yeah, it started, and then obviously it started raining, which I'm fine to see it rain, so I hope it continues.
That's one part.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you, sir, for what you do. Mr. Gershie had a report. Anybody read it with a report? And then Mr. Dries, you have a report.
Graduation went well. Semester tests were completed today. We're doing our May term tomorrow. So if you see kids all over town picking up sticks and digging post holes and such, that's what they're doing. Taking a lot of coordination by the staff, and it's just a little bit disappointing that families be like, well, my kid ain't coming to school, or my kid ain't gonna do manual labor, so think we need to instill that into this generation of kids that there's more than, you do things for not always a paycheck. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can get that instilled a little bit and, really appreciate all the work Ms. Montrath and Ms.
Yeah.
Lundberg have done and put into it, so.
Wow.
Yep, so. I don't have anything else unless you have questions.
I think that he is kind of wasted. Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah.
Probably you guys do for sure. And your next stuff there.
Okay, well, we've been talking about calendar pouches for cell phones in the future. I have a web meeting at the AEA tomorrow, a little more about it. It really seems like the direction for schools to go in it. I will learn more tomorrow, and then we've been talking about it, what kind of plan it would look like, just to help our students concentrate on their work in the classroom. I included the ISD workshop letter and didn't know when we would want them to come in to do another one, if we want that over the summer, or we want to do fall for a second one. Give me your thoughts on that. Secondly, when she was here, she talked about the Summit on School Success. Wednesday, June 11th, 9 to 3:30. Let me know if you're interested in going to that. Does look interesting, so I'm planning on going.
Where's that at?
The FFA Center in Ankeny. So please let me know, and I'll get us signed up in the next week or so. Foundation, CF gave $4,500, and Foundation already had $500 raised for VR headsets. I've gone through that, and I just need to get final approval from the Foundation. They've been really good to work with. Found a system that is very easy, very simple, and I think will really work well with our kids.
What's the VR? Can I ask that?
So it's where you put on the little head,
Virtual
reality, and then we get the little cubes with it. And so, like if they're in anatomy, they can wear their headset and they hold a cube, but it looks like they're holding a human heart, and they can dissect things and stuff.
Just for that science?
No, I mean, thousands of courses on it. It's quite amazing. When we get it here, we'll do a little testing.
Yeah. Okay.
It covers everything.
I'm sure it does.
So it'll be neat to have something new and different and exciting.
So what class will have that? Who's in charge of that deal? I mean, how many did you get a hold? How many of these do you get? Just one or?
8.
8?
We get 8. So,
And then like the science classes, is in charge of that, then 8, or it just sits in here like?
yeah, it'll probably be in the tech room or back behind. You check out and the teacher can, or we can put in the program and say they want to take an interactive journey of the jungle that they're studying in second grade. And so you just basically like your playlist on any music thing, you just pull it over into your playlist, it goes into the headphones or the VR sets, and boom, there it is, and they can do it. And the teacher can start it, or I can start it right from my computer. And they're right there in the jungle, and apes are coming out to them. It's pretty cool. Another neat thing is Richard Pope and some other graduates of Westwood talked to us about getting a Modus bird system, and definitely want to show you a little more about this in the future when we have time, possibly this summer. But as birds migrate, they put trackers on them, and as they come up the Missouri River Valley, they'll track and go through here and hang off of our antenna that we'll put up on elementary side. And teachers can incorporate that into their science or elementary. They can have a bird that they watch go, and literally watch go from South America to Canada and come through here. And I'll show you. It's really cool. So we are involved in that. Will not cost us anything except for our on-site electricity and things like that. So next, operational sharing went from 21 students to 25, and then there's going to be another one. I'm working with other schools trying to get some other that sharing. Currently, we have 3 positions for 8 students. I'd like to increase that down the road. Okay, so we did a lot tonight on phase 1. Phase 2 would be the bond project for November. I've got some numbers in here as we look. The update campus front entry document there, and kind of shows you what we're looking at. Going from a 10,000 foot addition is what we went for in the bond. This is a 3,000 foot addition, and redo our commons and restrooms. Not as big as before, cutting back. That's kind of what we heard from the community. That's what I've heard, at least. I made it kind of, Klinger has the one you can't read. So I did hear the numbers and made it a little more basic for you. So the new entrance remodel, fire sprinklers, would be a $5.9 million budget. Previously, that was a $13 million budget. So if we did all those things in the bond, total with all the other costs, that comes up to a $15.5 million project. Or we can choose to go and lower that and say we do out of the A, B, C, D, E, maybe the board thinks, well, A through C is where it's at, or A, C, and F, or whatever. So that's kind of what we're looking at, but we at least got our answer. 10,000 square feet is 13 million. So you go down to 3, that's about 6 million. And remember, that's a lot of changes inside of our building too. So it's not all just the size of it.
So we went from 28 million to 15 million.
Yeah.
And that don't include
Wasn't some of that 28 million was the,
Out there.
yes,
Out
sales tax one.
The same
That
that we're doing.
To save,
Yeah,
to save money.
concessions and stuff, yeah.
Okay.
So it still brings it about 10 million down. But we could take pieces out of that and go with just what we need, or,
So when do we gotta discuss this and get this down to a science here? This, these, whether we
You know-
do it all or pick it out. I mean, it's gotta be pretty soon,
soon.
like.
Yeah.
Next meeting or something, or between now and next meeting. Or not?
Probably before that,
Well, we'll probably just have to have a workshop, and then we're gonna discuss it tonight.
yeah.
Okay. I'm game.
Okay, I'll send you dates for workshop.
Okay.
No one's on vacation that first week of June?
First week in June?
Yeah.
I'll be
Brady's always.
probably out of town, but I can come back.
I already put my 4 weeks.
Oh, project.
But I can come back.
Okay.
Try it out, 7:00 at night. Omaha.
All right.
Make it work, I suppose. So, okay,
Yes?
alrighty, anything else?
All
Alright, we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We got a motion and
I'll second.
a second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, we never approved the consent agenda.
Consent agenda.
Oh,
We gotta
my
approve the
God.
consent agenda. We can handle that. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion? Okay. All in favor of accepting the consent agenda? Chris?
Aye.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I never read through it.
You got it, Ashley?
Yep, okay.
Okay,
I want to look through the
meeting
bills.
is adjourned.
Okay.